hydrogen, as I said in the beginning, has emerged as really a cornerstone of the clean energy transition. And there were stories right from 1970, when there was a first crisis. Hydrogen was tried to do something, but it didn't work because of the price. In 1990 also, Japan started exercise to produce hydrogen, use it, but again the price was a problem. Similarly, 2000 again it got climate change potential to use it, but ultimately it didn't happen. But now people are aware actually it has been as a really change agent for utilization of the renewables. So therefore hydrogen, there is a lot of focus, and it is cheaper than even battery storage. So do we need at least three? There were three sessions here supposed to be. First was a hydrogen ecosystem, where you produce hydrogen, you transport hydrogen, you store hydrogen, or you utilize hydrogen. Second was a technology. Again, I think next session will be how you can have economize on the electrolyzers, very important, and how you can economize on the transport system of hydrogen, important. Third is this session, which is very important, how globally you can pick up hydrogen market. So if you see, I said it's almost 10 commandment of, let's say, hydrogen, starting from energy transition, very important issue, then decarbonization. If burns purely water, nothing happens more. Energy storage, you can actually use the solar, you can use the wind, and produce hydrogen by electrolysis and store it whatever time you want. Then you have industrial application. The hydrogen, not in the green form, but in the grey form, has been utilized in India since very beginning. When refineries were there, fertilizer was there. In the fourth generation fertilizer, there was a reforming of the gas, natural gas. So convert it to hydrogen, make it ammonia, then use urea. So that use was there. So industrial use, especially for the high temperature application, directly reduction of the ore, still hydrogen is one of the best. Power system, you can use it there also. But what makes its impediment, you have to address, if the hydrogen is created in a large scale, there is no market. So where to sell it? So there has to be a global market. If there has to be global market for green hydrogen, there has to be a certification. Yes, it is green. Otherwise, there is no color actually. Hydrogen as such is colorless. So when you really produce hydrogen from the renewable energy source, it is called green hydrogen. So there has to be agency certifying on a global reputation basis. Certification by so-and-so, yes, it is green. Then you trade it. The quantum of the greenhouse gases is going to increase. If you see even 2050, there will be as much as a volume of 360 gigaton. How to really cope up with that kind of sequestration? Which are the agencies which will really cope up with that kind of gigaton of CO2? So the usage, renewable energy, energy efficiency, electrification, hydrogen. Hydrogen for many studies will be able to contribute 10 to 20, depending on the studies which have been made. Mostly people say up to 15% of the energy it could be from the hydrogen. Cutting short again, the cost, as Mr. Mundol said, the cost of hydrogen production today varying from $3 to $7 in US, $4 to $6 per kg in EU. So I think in hydrogen production we are in the stage of 1 decade back, as was for solar. Solar at the time used to be produced or sold at 18 rupees per unit, and now it is less than 2 rupees. So what you need actually a technological advancement to bring down the cost of electrolyzer. Next session, I think we have to continue. How to really bring out electrolyzer, one of the. Second, the storage. There are efforts in the global market to even transport hydrogen through the pipeline. But in India, we have not done more than 5 to 10%. The metallurgy has to be conforming to that. Then you have policy, as I said, policy alignment. In India particularly, when you say we need to use hydrogen, there has to be a specific direction for the government. So and so, let's say refineries. If refineries, fertilizer, they go for green hydrogen. So there will be huge consumption. Almost as of now, 99% of Indian hydrogen produced is used in industry, fertilizer and refineries. Only 1% used for other purpose. Then I will shortcut again. Now, if you see India, we have a hydrogen mission, which envisages 5 million ton of hydrogen production by 2030. We are leaving question mark for all of you, and we don't go for pessimistic, but it's a question. As of now, today, even not 0.1 million production. People are in the verge of establishing plant, which we will say a lot of people are coming up in India also. But this is one, what the mission says. Then 60 to 70 gigawatt electrolyzer installation. Next session. 6 lakh job. Interesting. For which, if 5 MTPA hydrogen has to be produced, we need to have at least 125 gigawatt of renewable energy dedicated for this. Then only you can produce 5 MTPA. And okay, 50 MTPA of carbon abatement will be there, and the investment will be about 8 lakh crore. So it will come not only from the government allocation, but the private players have to come and do this particular contribution. Now we have, I'm shortcutting it again. If you see global scenario, from 2020 to 2023, because we are dealing with the global transition, how it will give a pioneer action. So almost 600 times hydrogen production achievement was there, from 3 gigawatt to 20 gigawatt. So what happens is the volume is small, then percentage is becoming very high. 3 gigawatt to 20 gigawatt is not a big figure, but I say 600 times. That doesn't gel well with the actual production. 50% of the production from solar, and 40% from wind, and 10% from other sources. The leading countries in world are Germany, Japan, Australia, India, Canada, South Korea, and US. And many of them have introduced the regulatory framework by the government, so that you say there is a person or there is an authority who certifies that it's a green energy. The player, if it's a global scenario, Siemens is taking lead. They plan to go for 6 gigawatt by 2030 from present 1.5 gigawatt. NG is one. There are 2 gigawatt to 7 gigawatt they plan. NEL S2 1 gigawatt to 3 gigawatt. ITM Power again 0.25 megawatt. In India, there are a lot of companies coming up. Among them, L&T, NTPC, JSW, IOCL, GAIL, BPCL. They are all planning, supported by government. Plan, as I said, 5 MTPA by 2030. And today it is 0.1. Then I will conclude the last slides. What need to be done? Way forward. So we need to deploy the strategies for mass scale production and its utilization, where the government has to support. Then integrate policies in embedding green hydrogen with existing infrastructure, and enhance measure of accelerate green hydrogen adoption by regulatory framework. And RE capacity has to increase. Actually, as you said, we are planning for 500 gigawatt 2030, of which 50% is existing as installed capacity. So if you really thrust on this, maybe we achieve and target, in our opinion, as we have seen lot of studies, 20% of the primary energy to be shared by the hydrogen. With this, now I request my presentation possible है? Presentation possible? लगाइए चुक साहब.